What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Fight Network's Downtown Studios. I am John Ramtine alongside Robin Black. Coming up on the 21st of this month, Tito Ortiz takes on Chael Sonnen in Bellator. Paul Daly, Brennan Ward also on the card. Chinzo Machida, the brother of former UFC champion Lyoto Machida. Going to be a great night of mixed martial arts. When we're talking about Bellator in 2017, we mentioned Tito Ortiz, of course. Tito Ortiz has a big victory over Ryan Bader, who is now a free agent. And he says, of course, I would love to stay with the UFC. The UFC clearly not biting. Now he's talking about how he would love to make the move over to Bellator and fight Phil Davis. Of course he does, because he's just trying to stay relevant. I don't get excited about seeing Ryan Bader fight. I'm excited about Chael Sonnen and Tito Ortiz, though.
Yeah, Ryan Bader fights kind of like Chael Sonnen and Tito Ortiz, probably better and more evolved. But you don't like him. Yeah. I don't know why. I don't know what it is. Yeah. I don't know what it is. You don't like him.
He doesn't have the influence. He doesn't have the influence. Yeah. Again, it's when I saw what he did to Little Nog in his last fight, and again, back-to-back stoppage victories over Ilir Latifi and Little Nog, that's awesome. But what he did to Little Nog, can he take that as well? Because I watched Little Nog take a beating in that fight, and then when I watched Ryan Bader and Anthony Johnson, he wanted no part of that.
I mean, I get it, that there is a front-runner element to a high-level wrestler that is often implied. You get this feeling like they got to get him out of there, and if it doesn't go their way, it's going to be rough. But I don't know that that's necessarily fair. But there are these athletes that are great athletes, great mid-card, exciting athletes. Ryan Bader's one of these guys. And Ryan Bader versus Phil Davis, both of these are high-caliber athletes. You're going to see high-caliber fighting. I get it that not everybody can capture the imagination of the audience or the fans or people who love the sport. I get that. But I think that's a good
Don't you like risk takers? Don't you like guys that go after the finish? Don't you like these fighters? Like, again, I'm just using this as an example. You look at Jessica Penne in that fight with Joanna Jacek. She took a shit kicking and she kept trying to move forward. She had no way of winning that fight, but she did not want out of the fight. That's what I love about certain individuals.
Juho Choi against
Exactly. And that's what we love about certain individuals. And some of these athletes, they rely on their technical background and the fact that they can master a certain area to smother you and avoid damage.
Yeah, it's interesting because it's almost always the same guys that get under your skin, and it's not you, it is thousands and thousands of people. And what are they? How do you connect them? They feel like play runners. They feel like play executors. Instead of going in there and fighting it out with grit, they go in there to execute plays. Often they come from the world of wrestling. OSP is one of these guys.
Exactly.
Although I find that he plays with space really interesting. Phil Davis, as much as you like Phil personally, has always been one of those guys for you.
Same thing.
Yeah. So it is something about the idea of the play runner. But if you think about it from the point of view of this is a hack. Now, how can I go in and compete in high-level combat sports without having to psychologically engage in combat? And that's kind of the beauty of finding that way around that back door. But I get it. If you feel like they aren't going off to battle, instead they're going off to solve a physical Rubik's Cube, I get it.
The reason why is because, and this isn't just, I'm not pointing the fingers at wrestlers, because you look at Chael Sonnen, you look at Randy Couture, and one of my favorite guys is Matt Hughes, is because he came from the world of wrestling. And as much as he tried his best to develop in the striking department, one of the areas that you really saw development was in the submission wrestling department. So to see the evolution of some of these guys turn into something, and we've all seen the abuse that Randy Couture has taken, that Matt Hughes has taken, that Chael Sonnen has taken. So it has nothing to do with wrestlers. It's about some of these athletes that are they're more interested in just getting the W instead of the fight itself.
Yeah. No, I get that. But some of these guys, what is Bellator going to pick up, and what is the UFC going to decide not to sign? Because you can't sign everybody. When some competitor of yours has deep pockets, they're going to start offering big money. You can't sign them all. Who will they probably allow to go over there? It'll be these very guys. The guys who are talented, because you can't keep all the talented guys. The guys who are winners. Ryan Bader's coming off 2 good wins, like you mentioned.
He's like 8-2 in his last 10.
Yeah, but which is pretty darn
Teixeira
impressive.
and Rumble Johnson are his losses.
Exactly. And the guys who will not really breach that top 5 and are not fight of the night guys and are not guys with legions of fans. And so we've just basically described the prototype, and Ryan Bader will be a good fit in Bellator.
Because in that list of guys, as I mentioned, 8-2 in his last 10, Johnson and Teixeira wins over Rashad Evans, Ovin St. Preux, Phil Davis, and his last 2 wins, Little Nog and Ilir Latifi, where he stopped those guys. So, but when you have those credentials, why are you not a bigger draw?
Yeah, I mean, that is a whole other thing. Some of it is excitement, and some of it is what amount of your personality comes across to guys. Again, let's imagine we have a limited resources of money. You're the other guys, and I'm these guys. The only way I can try to steal Michael Chandler from you or Justin Gaethje from the other guys is if I let some of these guys go. And so the move can no longer be keep all the best. The move will probably keep the most popular and most exciting of the best. And I don't always feel in favor of that when Yushin Okami disappears or John Fitch or
any of those guys,
or any
Jake
of these
Shields,
guys. And for me, Ryan Bader, it's the same thing. We've got top guys, and eventually you let them go. But in a world where you're competing to engage and get the attention of the audience, you get the attention with Justin Gaethje, and you don't get it with Ryan Bader.
You got to get a sense that in 2017, that Ryan Bader, whether he stays with the UFC, would he be a good fit for the Bellator organization, considering what we've seen from Scott Coker and his matchmaking style? Who knows?